It's Joel Beya here, and I'm back with Rio Ferdinand. Now, one of the topics that we wanted to discuss was during this pre-season period, how important are the young players? Now, Rio, you've been a young player before, obviously when you were at West Ham and stuff like that, breaking through. How was your pre-season first, may I ask? And what kind of impact did it have when you were trying to break into the first team?
Yeah, it was the be all and end all. If you could get on that tour, you knew that there would be an opportunity either through injury or anything. Just being around the players that you would be able to grow and you'd be able to learn. I think that's like a key thing for any young player. The players nowadays. I mean, I look at the Man United tour right now. You can see you've got um, Charlie Savage, Zidane. There's a few of them who are on there. There's more names on there. You look at Arsenal, they've got Ruel Walters, a young kid, just been thrown into the squad going on tour. These are valuable moments for these kids. You know what? Even if these boys don't play 1 minute during this tour, the fact that they've gone away and they've been able to sit there and be a sponge around the first team players, how do they prepare for training? How do they recuperate after training? How do they prepare for matches? How do they recover after matches? How do they? What's their nutrition look like? How often do they take in their water? How often do they take in different food in the evenings? How do they rest? Like all of these things are so important for a young player that if you said to a young 16-year-old before he goes on tour with a team, he wouldn't have a clue what the answer to most of those questions are. But I tell you, when he comes off that tour, if he don't know, he'd have to have been blind or just been walking around with a blindfold on, making sure he doesn't see anything. The young kids get to see and live and breathe how a first team player actually lives. It's beautiful for the young kids, and I've done it myself at West Ham, which was great. Went to I think somewhere like Scotland, and you get to see it. And to be fair, back then it wasn't as professional, so I was watching how not to do it. Players getting ready for a night out, bringing their best clothes, bringing their best dancing shoes, and a whip
Pre-season.
round. Yeah, pre-season, and then a whip round at the end of the tour to go on an all-dayer and an all-nighter at West Ham. That was the way not to do it. But you always had your dancing shoes on. If you came and didn't bring about 2 or 3 going out outfits, you was in the wrong club at West Ham. So it's very different now. And you fast forward to today, or to when I was playing, we used to have people like Jesse Lingard come on the first tour, Chris Eagles, Lee Martin, people like that, young players who come into the first team squad, and it's an opportunity for them. And that is a chance for them to say, and do you know what I always used to find is that as a first team player, as the older I got, I wanted to be on the same team as these young kids because they were the quickest, they were the sharpest, they were the fittest players at the club. So you were desperate to get on their team to win the games. But it was all about what happened after that initial first 2 weeks, first 2 or 3 weeks when people are fighting for fitness. Once everyone's fit and it's a level playing field fitness-wise, then it's about the young players. Can they still stand out? Can they still look sharp? Can they still look like they understand what's going on? But it's a great environment for them to be on. They're going on these tours. Chelsea are in LA at the moment. Rozier's gone on that tour now, a young player who was on loan last year, among others, I'm sure. Man United, like I said, the young players that are there gaining valuable experience. I watched the last 2 games for Man United in their pre-season. The young players have done remarkably well there, really well. I mean, I'm sure they would have given the coaching staff food for thought, and they'd have thought, you know what, I didn't know. And what they don't know is if these players can handle it around. What?
What I want to break down, Rio, I saw players like Palestri the other day getting on the score sheet. Obviously, you've got, your Chong who had the chance to play against Melbourne. Like you mentioned earlier on, Charlie Savage, Zidane, all these guys are getting a taste. Even players like Amid Diallo, who, he's gone out on loan, he's had to come back. It's great for them. And I just want to add, I saw the pre-season clips that you had us release on 5. Like when you go on tour and you're out with the lads and stuff like that.
Mm.
When you're there, it's obviously you're saying that the fittest on the pitch within, at the club within the first 2 weeks. But what else are you looking for? Are you feeding the information back to Fergie at the time, saying, you know what, I like this about him. You know what, he's got this. And are the senior players going to be doing the same thing to Ten Hag? Do you reckon?
No, what happens is you get to know, are these boys ready? Do they want it? Are they capable of coming in and training with the first team? Are they scared? Are they in awe? Do they freeze under a bit of pressure in training? Or do they grow and they actually, no, he looks like he's got the taste for this. He looks like he wants this. And actually, we're getting to the game now where there's 60, 70, 80, 90,000 people in Australia or in Thailand. And this kid grows again. He don't look phased. That's what you want to see. The ones that go into them environments and they freeze a little bit and they're in awe and they don't really want to say too much and put the first team players' noses out of joint. They're the ones that normally kind of slide away. You've got to go in and treat it like your normal environment. Yes, be respectful of the first team players. Yes, show that respect because of age and seniority, but get on them between them white lines on the pitch, and we are equal. And I'm going to show you that I'm ready to be here. And that was always my mindset as a young player. Whenever that manager, Harry Redknapp, calls me over to the first team when I'm in the youth team, and he calls me over to go and train with the first team, I'm going to leave something over there that he goes, oh, I think I need that in my first team squad. That's what these kids have got to be thinking. The moment they get over there, it's not I'm scared, or there's Cristiano Ronaldo, or there's Thiago Silva. Do you know what I mean? Or whoever it is, the big senior players and the ones they've looked at for years as their heroes. I should be here.
What players, Rio, impressed you during pre-season when you thought, oh, he's come in and he's got a bit of bite on him?
I think Jesse Lingard, when Moyes came, and he came on tour with us, and I thought, oh, Jesse's definitely going to get some time here and play. Definitely. It didn't actually materialise properly for him, but I thought Jesse was outstanding in pre-season. Yes, he was fitter than everybody else at the time because he was a young kid, but he had that something about him. You know, he felt ready to be in and around the first team. Yeah, he weren't a 17, 18-year-old. He's still a little bit older than that, but he'd waited his time and he got it, and you thought, this kid, I think he can go on and do really well for Man United. It was Zaha done well in pre-season when he signed from Palace, to be fair, as a young kid. And I thought, we've done really well. The Silva twins as well, the Brazilians, They were really good. They were hard little rats, I used to call them, the two rats. Yeah. They were aggressive. They wanted to learn. They wanted to win every day. You had to kind of take the reins on them and say, listen, calm it down a little bit. They loved it. Them two were probably my favourite two in that sense. They were just hungry little rats. And they're the ones that, as senior players, you go, you know what, get alongside me. I like that. Adnan Januzaj, another one, done really well. Showed glimpses where you thought, oh, and under Moyes went full in with him, and he was the one who got a first team opportunity off the back of a really good pre-season. So it shows you that all down the years, young players coming in and around the first team in pre-season do well, and it sticks with managers in their mind. So young players going over to the first team always have to think like that. I'm going to leave that manager with something, and he thinks I need to have him with me. Maybe not now, but in 6 months when there's an injury, that's who I'm calling on.
Finally, I want to ask, if you're a senior player, what kind of advice would you give in helping young players? Because we've got other series that we're doing here on 5. We're doing Released with 360 TV. We've got Highs and Lows. And a lot of them talk about how they were treated by senior players. And sometimes that's affected their career. What is the best approach, would you say, when it comes to senior players with youth players?
I think it's making them feel comfortable in that new environment. It's daunting, it's intimidating coming into the first team changing room, okay? And then going training with the first team when all of these people have been on your walls as superstars and you've seen them on TV, and all of a sudden you're in that changing room, all right? Whatever level it is, it's different, it's harder, it's a more harsh environment. And I always took it upon myself to make young players feel comfortable in that environment. I think if you spoke to a lot of young players at Man United, especially who came into the first team, from Cleverley, Welbeck, Anderson, Nani, Cristiano, Rooney, to the Lingards, to Lee Martins, Chris Eagles, etc. I think they'd all tell you, Ravel Morris and Pogba's, they'd all tell you that I was very much one that would always give them time. And I would always make them feel comfortable, whether it's on a training pitch or in the hotel or wherever it was. I'd always give them that a bit of time to just calm their nerves a little bit and just make them feel, yeah, I'm bringing you in, man. Come on, we're going to go. We're going to go on train. You're going to be cool. And if there's a problem, you look around, you might see me and feel, actually, yeah, I feel comfortable because he spoke to me before. And just give them that bit of time, because I had it when I went into different environments. I went with England when I was a kid, one of my first squad, and a few people didn't really talk to me or greet me like I thought I should have been as a young player. And I thought, I don't ever want a young player to feel like that again.
Oh, that's some good advice right there, man. Listen, I know there's other videos that we got planned, and I know you're enjoying the sun. So I want to say thank you very much for giving us that time. And you know what? We will be back again with more news. Bro, please don't come back on the show next time with no top, though. Like, you know, people in the comments, like,
people ain't ready for that. They're not ready. I'm putting people to shame. 43 years old and there's 26-year-olds not looking the same shape. It's cool. I don't mind. I'm sorry. The beach, by the way, is that way.
Is that way? Listen, enjoy your holiday, and we'll speak again soon, Rio. All right?
No, guys, take care.
Peace in a bit.